This is Civvie for the 5 Live Drive here on Split Screen. I'm going to wait a bit for this thing to get off my face. I should make like a new one. I was actually designing a new one, but I haven't got around to it. Just something we might talk about on the 5 Live Drive today, which is a video where we listen to the BBC 5, as you can already hear it, blaring through your speakers or headphones. Or speakers like crudely duct taped to your head to become headphones, in my case. So we drive around, we talk about whatever's going on with me, on the radio. What's going on in Britain? What's different in Canada? Let's get going. I think this is like the 5 Live Drive, like 9 or something. We are delivering some stuff to a country. Poland, I think? I think we're going to Poland. I don't remember. I know we're in Germany. Currently, they're still talking about the, they apparently got a new labor minister, I think? And he wants to, he wants to have a kinder Britain.
There's more of a challenge here. Jeremy Corbyn is asking people to go along with a vision for running the country, which in the past, in successive elections by conventional wisdom, has taken an awful lot of selling and hasn't been readily bought.
And then they just talked about how a lot of people think he's a really cool guy, but not cool enough to run the country. I don't know what Trident is.
It's gone down well, but I can remember Neil Kinnock, and I can remember Michael Foot before that. On their good days, they were beloved of the Labour Party, but those stories ended badly.
Yeah, John, stay with us if you will.
There's a place. Did I sleep already? Yes, I did. Gas? No. Okay, keep going.
Jeremy Corbyn for leadership. Hello, Catherine.
Oh, hello, how are you?
Hi, good, yeah, and Helen Goodman's here as well, Labour MP for
Helen Goodman. That's a good name.
For the leadership. Hello, Helen.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Hello.
Helen, I'll start with you. Have you been convinced by Jeremy Corbyn today?
Well, I think Jeremy made a very good, passionate speech. I think he is genuinely interested in having an open debate, and I think that's
little
really
too close to cornering there.
Things had got a bit sterile and a bit stale, and so I think this could
sterile.
be a very
Sterile and stale are not the same thing.
Possibility for us as a party to develop.
Stale is like old. Sterile is like clean.
People are, and the big changes that have taken
I'm not an
place
English
in
major. I don't
society in
know.
the last 20 years.
I just hit
Catherine
buttons.
West, it's one thing to have a debate, though. At the end of that debate, decisions
I should probably
have to be
stop
reached.
saying
The
that.
principles either have to be
It's
stood by or
putting
cast
what I
aside,
do
and that's
down.
gonna be an
I'm
issue, isn't it, for Jeremy
bringing
Corbyn?
you
He's a
something
logger.
relatively
He's
close to
a leader for the sake of the
entertainment.
tribe.
I think the important thing is that we respond to the democratic
And,
mandate
we
which
need to change
Jeremy
lanes
has
here.
had from a large selectorate, as it
And slow
were,
down.
within the Labour Party, but also
110
growing
down this
membership
corner is a
who
bad
seem to be
plan.
endorsing his approach. And I
50
think,
is what they want me to do.
The rest of the Labour Party does need to respond in a way which doesn't just dismiss those people, those newly arrived active members, and that we try and calibrate what it is they like about Jeremy, what it is people feel he's strong on, but also come up with a credible sort of, I guess,
car,
offer
the bus,
to the country
the bus.
in 2020.
I should really
And I
download the
believe
bus
we've got
mod.
time for that. I think this is the right speech for now.
I think
It was
that'd be
very
fun.
open. It was very encouraging of young people. It tackled really difficult issues. It talked about everything from human rights to carers to the attack on working people around the tax credit cuts. I mean, £1,200 out of the bank balance of every single working family in the UK. 55% of my constituents in Wood Green will be affected by that. You know, these are big issues, and I think he did touch on the big issues, but he also allowed himself to talk about the environment again.
Oh man, I should run that
He did attack the Tories in several places throughout the speech.
that 60 minutes with Donald Trump video instead of the 5 Live Drive.
Fair enough,
That was some
we're in a
shit.
holding pattern at the moment, and debate has to be held, and we're told that constantly. And Tom Watson said that a little bit earlier. What about in the future? Who's going to make
Trump?
policy for the Labour Party? Is it being taken?
He's
out
a
of the
manager.
House of MPs? Are you worried about that? Is he going to the
He's not a
grassroots?
president.
Jeremy Corbyn says
He's
he wants power to
a.
be from the bottom up.
Yes, and I think
He's
it
not a
is
president
important
like
to listen more to
they
party members than
have
we
had.
done in the last 10 years
He's
since
like
I've been
a-
member of Parliament. Ordinary party members are
like a business
represented through
manager,
a
where
process
like
called the
he's
National
like, no,
Policy
we'll fucking
Forum.
figure it out.
And
Don't worry, we'll
I'm
figure it out.
expecting quite a lot of the detailed work still to
I
go
have a
on
plan.
in the National
It
Policy
doesn't make any
Forum.
sense to you,
I mean,
but I have a plan.
obviously, you know, we do line
And
by
then
line
it maybe
scrutiny
turns
of
out, or it
bills
maybe
in
doesn't.
Parliament,
and
I'm worried that
put out to commissions
America might be
to 500,000 people,
ready and willing
but what we get
to
from the members,
put
which is
someone.
really is
I shouldn't even say someone with crazy views like that, because the other candidates are even. There's a crazy religious guy
well, as a matter
who's
of
not
fact,
famous.
that's very
So
popular
I mean,
with
like,
the public as well. That's certainly
imagine if Schwarzenegger had gone through with his, or had the chance to go through with his dream, you wouldn't be able to vote him out of office.
I was canvassing in the
Like,
East
that's,
Midlands
he had to
in the
quit,
by-election, for example,
basically,
and I
to
got
stop
on
being
the doorstep,
elected
if you would
in
renationalise
California.
the railways, we'd
Because if
very
you look at a
well
ballot
be
and you go,
pretty
oh, this
increased.
person, I might agree with him, but then the next person on the list is Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger,
I think that opinion polling does
you
show
instantly just like, yep, that guy right there. I want the Terminator. I want the Governor. I don't care how good he is.
That, you know, attention to the housing crisis,
Which I fear Donald Trump's going to end up with the same sort of thing, where it's like, oh, I know Donald Trump. Done.
As Catherine was saying,
Assuming he makes it all the way. I don't know how the system works, but apparently he has to like become the leader of the. He has to be voted to be the leader of his party, and then he can be his party can be voted into presidency. I think that's how that works. It doesn't. A lot of sense, but
in a different way, and I think that,
I think
he's
it
also
makes
talking
sense
about,
in a
the
party
deficit
system, but I'm
and
not
when that
a big
will
fan
be,
of the party system.
sorted out, and by which time period will be.
He didn't mention the deficit
also,
today, did he?
Well, John did yesterday, who's his other right-hand man. So we
So
also
I
have to
don't
remember,
fucking
though,
know.
that the Tories are about to announce a huge amount
I
more of
I
cuts
want
to
to.
public service.
I'm
And,
interested to see
according to
what's
their
going to happen
program,
there. It's way more interesting than
2015
Canadian
will be the
politics, where it's just
deficit's
like,
no
are we
longer
going to have
massive.
some
So,
random
I know
white
that
dude
you've been
as
asked
the
to
prime
define,
minister?
but don't
Okay.
forget, the government which is in right now
Sure.
is failing very dramatically on its own famously reiterated long-term economic strategy. I mean, if it was doing such a wonderful job, why are these cuts necessary to working people?
No, and you make a fair point about giving you a hard time, but of course the Tories' conference is to come, and we will be doing the same to their representatives.
Well, I hope that you'll ask them to intervene in the manufacturing situation in this country, where steel workers, 1,600 steel workers in the north of England, are about to lose their jobs, and this government is doing zero.
What would you do? What would you do to save those jobs?
I would immediately be looking for a bailout fund, the way that we did for the banks. I would be looking at what are the other industries which we could move there. I would be saying, where are the public services which possibly we could outsource to the northeast? We need an emergency summit.
Services outsourced?
Well, for example, there are a lot of public services which are currently in London or in other parts of the country where
Like what?
the economics might not be such a big issue.
Hang on
there
a
are
minute. You
call
take
centres.
jobs from London and move them to the northeast. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that we need to have an industrial strategy for this country which covers every
That's
single
not a
region.
strategy, is it? You're
No
taking jobs off
region-
people in
No, this
London.
lady's crazy.
With all
I
sympathy
am
for people in the
saying
northeast,
no
that's not a
region
strategy,
left
is it?
behind. I am a national politician and I care just as much as jobs in London as I do in jobs in the northeast. But I happen to know that in London we have a more vibrant economy and we have to actually intervene.
Yeah, but
this is not just about being.
She's like, I'm gonna move jobs into the northeast for steel workers.
And do you know what?
Steel
they
workers,
don't have a job anymore.
like, they want to
Why is
work.
that not this
They want to work on
There's a lot of
steel. They don't want to work
Absolutely, but that's a viable policy.
on
You can take jobs from one area of the country and swap them to
whatever
others that
else.
are losing those jobs.
We need
Well,
an
the
industrial strategy.
Work
and this
isn't work.
government
Helen, do you
has
agree
not
with
got
that?
one.
The fact of the matter is that at the moment, under the Tories, we're getting a lot more investment in London than we are in the northeast. So, for example, for every £250 spent on investment in public transport in London, we only get £5 in the northeast. So we do need to
It's a party
rebalance.
over here.
And actually,
Go on,
I'll
finish
stop.
that thought. Go on, finish,
Well,
10 seconds, finish that thought.
I was just going to say, to pay for the tax credits, one of the things that Jeremy did mention was not going ahead with this mammoth tax cut
Whoa.
for inheritance for the wealthiest 60,000 people. So I think,
Well.
there was some kind of balance in what he was saying.
Okay, and we've got 30 seconds left. As ever at these events, there are always fringe events of the weird and the faintly ridiculous.
sorry.
John Pino doing karaoke goes under that.
sorry,
banner.
Coach.
Anna, you've seen his performance. I know, Catherine and Helen, you've seen it as well. What do you think, Anna? What was your?
It's magnificent.
Just describe his
It-
performance.
Well, I did say at the top of the programme, can you guess what John Pienaar's karaoke song of choice would be? Stephen Sevenoaks, for example, has guessed at Glad All Over by the Dave Clark 5. Not even close. It's the Black Eyed Peas. It's proper Saturday Night X Factor stuff. And I'm told, I mean, I wasn't there, I've seen this, and in fact you can hear it as well if you want in a moment, but word perfect. Word perfect, which is quite impressive.
Catherine, Helen, what do you make of it in a nutshell?
Can I just let you know that this morning at the 7:30 a.m. ladies bathing on Brighton Beach, where I was present, and swam with another couple of MPs and so on, would you believe
the ladies
all
bathing?
the talk of the ladies bathing was about John Pienaar's wonderful singing voice.
Here he is,
I was
Barry White himself.
Here we were, just in our swimsuits, talking about John Pienaar and his wonderful swimming, his wonderful singing voice.
I was slightly concerned that he was going to have been present at the ladies' bathing, but he'd have been having a lie.
I'm not sure he was awake at 7:30.
I tell you what, Catherine, that was a Freudian slip saying John Pienaar in his bathing costume. You just said that. John, what's been the reaction, very quickly?
Yeah, well, look, first of all, thank you for raising this. It's
Thank you for bringing me on. These ladies took up all the
I had
time.
no idea I was going down a storm. The ladies bathing morning, that's sort of brightened my day as well. All I can say really is that I'm available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, whatever it happens to be. And if anyone wants to get in touch, they can just contact my agent for this purpose, Tony.Livesey at BBC.
I want 50%.
Well,
You'll be glad to hear,
the leader
John.
of the Labour Party was praising the BBC, and this is another example
Save
of
the
the marvellous
BBC.
institution which is
Don't-
the BBC.
Don't talk
Glad
over
to
each
hear,
other,
John.
please. You're on the radio.
We're
Fuck.
going to let people just sample exactly what they missed last night.
That's a sample,
There's a
yep.
link there,
I can
John.
hear that.
Where's the singing?
Yeah, if this is
rapping.
hurting your ears more than mine, then good.
Well,
Thanks for the advert, guys.
so somebody in the crowd went, is this happening? Probably in the hope that someone would say no. John, great stuff. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, Dan.
There he goes, John Pienaar off for a new career. Thanks to Catherine West and Helen Goodman as well.
Chris says, I want the album right now. Pienaar sings. There you go, I'm going to copyright that.
And his agent, I just say, 21 minutes past 6.
This is 5 Live Drive.
5 Live Drive Live here on Split Screen. I almost said the wrong branding because branding is hard.
Who's on bail charged with child sexual abuse has been jailed for 3.5 years. And Volkswagen's come up with an action plan to modify cars affected by the emissions test scandal. In case you actually fancy seeing John Pienaar in action rather than just hearing him, if you have a look at social media at BBC 5 Live,
Sir, you're
get
driving
the video
so
as well.
slow.
He's wearing
Please.
shades and dancing. Here's one.
And the M8 in Edinburgh, westbound junction 2, linking with the M9 at Newbridge. An accident which happened there has been moved to the Hard Shoulder. Queue still there, backing up to junction 1 at Hermiston Gate. The M6
Beep, beep.
in Lancashire, northbound traffic still busy. A lane closed near the Broughton interchange, linking with the M55, and that's at junction 32. The M62 in West Yorkshire, heading west. 2 lanes are closed to clear an overturned vehicle. Rishworth Moor, junction 22 to junction 21 at
I can't fit in this
Traffic
space
very slow
that you've
there.
given
And
me
then
here.
the M5 in Bristol, a lane closed because
right.
of a breakdown at junction 17.
Cut that guy off.
Causeway.
Fuck that guy.
The M60 in Manchester.
Now
lane
the
because
bus
of a
is gonna
breakdown
speed
at
up.
Junction 6
Fucking
at Sale,
bus.
through to the Eccles interchange at junction 12. And then delays on the M1 in Hertfordshire. Heavy traffic from 7 at Hemel Hempstead to junction 10 at Luton Airport Spur Road. There was an accident, it is now clear. And the same with the M25 in Buckinghamshire. Clockwise, junction 13 at Staines, heading towards the earlier accident scene at junction 17. And then the A48 in Hynham in Gloucestershire is closed in both directions between the A40
The fuck,
Hynham
sir?
Roundabout and Elton Corner. Order merchant 5 Line Travel.
Formula One across the BBC.
The Japanese Grand Prix.
Nico Rosberg started
That
on
motherfucker
pole.
drove directly into me.
Lewis Hamilton, but
That was his
Hamilton
fault.
fought back. He passed Rosberg, and since then he's taken a victorious tour around Suzuka. A wonderful victory for Lewis Hamilton.
It's great to be back up here. Thank you so much for all the hard work.
Download the Checker Flag podcast now from the BBC 5 Live website.
bbc.co.uk/5 Live and click on podcasts.
You could do that if you want to, or you could go just click on any of the other videos that say Split Screen. Watch the ads,
Sarah
please.
Sands lost control when she confronted Michael Plested, who'd been charged with sexually assaulting young boys on the estate where they lived in East London.
The 77-year-old, who had 24 previous convictions spanning 3 decades and already served time in jail, was on bail awaiting trial when he was killed. John Brown from the NSPCC says that
Maybe we don't need our
vetting
windshield
should have been
wipers.
carried out when people from the
Huh.
estate raised concerns about it.
The sex offender register was consulted, but the police national computer wasn't consulted, it does make sense, particularly in cases of child sexual abuse or concerns where there are child sexual abuse, for all relevant databases to be
Game looks
consulted.
really,
I think
like,
that the
okay.
decision to do that could be seen and should be seen.
It doesn't
as
look
relevant to
bad.
protection and the defense of
Some of the effects are cool.
Bearing in mind that we're talking about the protection of children.
Let's
But,
speak to
like,
legal
it's
commentator Joshua Rosenberg.
it's okay.
Joshua, there are
I
several
think
strands
it's
to
all
look
right.
at here. First of all, the fact that he was on bail, is that what should happen in a case like this when somebody is awaiting trial charged with child sexual offences?
It is actually, yes, because the Bail Act creates what's called a rebuttable presumption in favour of bail. It's that you get bail if you're awaiting trial on a criminal offence, unless certain circumstances apply. A defendant need not be granted bail if the court satisfied that there are substantial grounds for believing the defendant would fail to surrender if he was let out on bail, or commit
110.
an offence while on bail, or interfere with witnesses, or obstruct the course
I'm already
of
going
justice.
110.
As far as I know,
Well, shit.
there was no suggestion
Can't go any faster.
that Michael Plested
I could go
would
faster, but
do
it's not
that.
safe.
He
110 is
didn't.
about as fast as
There's
I'm willing to
nothing in
drive
the
most of the
Bail
time.
Act that says that you're not going to be granted bail if your life is at risk from somebody else.
What about the location that he had been housed at? Because people have said that given the nature of what he was facing trial for...
Hopefully we can get these tomatoes there before...
with children living close by, overlooking a primary school.
Well, that's a fair point, but I mean, there are children everywhere, and
There are children
if
everywhere,
you're
indeed.
granted bail, then you would not normally live in your own home. If you don't have a home, there may be bail hostels, but these things cost money, and it would be difficult to find a part of the country where there were no children around, and presumably it's easier to keep an eye on somebody if they're in their home. I don't know whether there were reporting restrictions or not, but if it's being said that all the neighbours should have been told what he was charged with, then maybe that would have put him at greater risk. And indeed, we see the risk because one person did indeed know what he was accused of.
All right. Let's
And
keep
on
going.
that
Drive
sentence
forward.
that Sarah Sands received, in the
Are we
judge's
here?
remarks,
Jesus
he
Christ.
made clear that the fact that she'd lost control should not be seen as some kind of precedent towards encouraging vigilante behaviour, essentially.
That's right. Judge Nicholas Cook QC said it was a truly exceptional case,
It was a truly exceptional case. That lady stabbed that guy a lot of times.
Pleaded guilty to what she had done. She told the police. She didn't try and block the investigation by the police, and she has been in custody for the past 10 months, and so that will be taken into account in assessing her sentence. The crucial thing was that she was cleared of murder but convicted of manslaughter. If you're convicted of murder, you have to be sentenced to life imprisonment. If you're convicted of manslaughter, as she was because of her loss of control, then the judge can set the sentence, and he obviously set a sentence that was appropriate, taking into account the fact that she had admitted to what she'd done.
Joshua, thank you. That's the legal commentator, Joshua Rosenberg.
Police Scotland says it's investigating alleged irregularities surrounding property deals that the
For a second there, I thought, yeah, alleged irregular erections. It's like, whoa, whoa, guys.
James, what do we know?
Yes, so this story is actually breaking this evening, Tony, as we're speaking, and it concerns, as you say, Michelle Thompson, a leading member of the new group of 56 SNP MPs, of course, that famous victory for the SNP in Scotland in May's general election. She is a former head of Business for Scotland. That was a group that campaigned for independence during the referendum campaign, and she is currently the SNP's frontbench business spokesperson. Now, this relates to irregularities in property deals carried out on behalf of Michelle Thompson. The transactions were in 2010 and 2011. And they led to a solicitor being struck off by the Law Society of Scotland. Now, the Society
Can we be there yet?
referred the case to the Crown Office. That's the
I think this one's like $44
the police to investigate.
A kilometer.
Now, we understand that
we
the
are
initial
almost there.
inquiries in this case will not
Oh my
involve Michelle
goodness.
Thompson. She has, in fact, denied any wrongdoing. The Conservatives in Scotland,
please don't
they have
change.
urged the
It's a bad
SNP
time.
to suspend Ms Thompson as the party's business spokesman at Westminster. The comment from the SNP that we've had so far.
Apparently I've never even
Deputy
been
First
to...
Minister John Swinney
I have been to
has said, and I'm
There's a little bit of yellow road over there.
Any allegations that are put forward in this matter are fully and comprehensively answered by Michelle Thompson. So we will expect more on this story, Tony, not necessarily tonight, but at some stage within the next few days.
Okay, James, thank you very much indeed. That's our Scotland reporter, James Shaw.
Phil Williams here from 10:30 tonight, opening up the phone lines for your reaction to Jeremy Corbyn's speech. So you can get in touch, let him know what you thought. 0500 909 693 is the number to call.
We've
you
made
can
it.
share views as always via text or social media if you prefer. And also,
all right, let's see how we did.
I
think our trailer got some damage because that guy hit it because he's a jerk. Because I cut him off.
From us tonight.
Right,
We're
let's see
off for
what
an
we
early
got.
bath.
Good work.
Champions League build-up.
Perfect.
Chappers is here. Chappers, you're at the Emirates.
Yeah, 2%
Arsenal
damage.
A
It
big night for
sucks.
Chelsea. All eyes on Costa.
But we leveled up.
On Mourinho. What do you say about his players next?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, if they don't
Spend
do
our
business
point.
in Porto, he'll be even more critical post-match than he was pre-match. Thank you very much, Tony.
10% fuel drive or fuel save.
This evening, it's match day 2.
We got everything else though.
And tonight, it's all about the London clubs.
The Champions League on 5 Live.
Ronaldo takes the free kick. What a fantastic strike by Ronaldo.
All right. So we've got $300,000. Can we? Do we have a? No, we have no loan. We got off our loan. So let's see. Garage. Do we have? All of our garages are full except for this one.
He's blamed referees,
So let's fill
he's
it.
blamed journalists, he's blamed the doctor. This time Jose's blaming the players.
To be untouchable,
We
you
use
have to be
Volvos.
a fantastic player, but you have to be consistent. And in this moment, I don't have untouchables.
Mourinho is back where he made his name. It's Porto against Chelsea. It's the Champions League, and Costa's back. Costa chests it
We
down.
get the better engine, and then we make them blue. Usually we put more lights and stuff on them, but that's not necessary.
They need a win. They don't need a striker.
Sanchez away from Kante, and then going for goal. Completing his hat trick. 3 goals for Alexis Sanchez.
Oh, please select the
Live
other
Sport.
one.
The
Done.
Champions League.
Good evening, I'm Mark Chapman. Another big Champions League night on 5 Live Sports.
So let's
and
go
as ever this season,
here.
when there's
We
a
need
big
to
Champions
hire
League night,
somebody
we're
to
getting
go in this
underway
truck.
At 6:30. We want
Victor
you involved as
A.
well,
He's a
850
5.0 driver.
Sport. Plenty of
I like
updates
it.
throughout the evening from here at the Emirates, where it's Arsenal against
He has a good
Olympiacos.
smile.
Our commentary
Good rapist
will be
smile.
Porto against Chelsea, but we'll keep an eye on all the
All right,
other
so now we
Champions League
need,
games. Barca and Bayern in action tonight. Got reports that Brentford
we need
against Bern,
another
Fulham against Wolves in the
thing.
Championship.
I think we can
and
buy
there's
another
a full
one.
fixture list in Leagues 1 and 2. So we will keep you up to date with all the goals.
But I think
as
we have
they
to go
in.
buy. We have to
And
actually
if you
go
want
to the
then
place
you can
and
hit
buy
the
it.
red button or go to the
So-
BBC Sport website and you can listen to tonight's commentary accompanied with live graphics and stats and the video printer. So all you've got to do is press the red
Let's
button.
quick travel
and
to
you'll get 5 live final
Nuremberg.
score on selected connected TV devices. The sprinklers are on here at the Emirates. The Olympiacos players are out, just taking a look at the
Free is the
pristine
win.
surface. Alongside me here,
Born
Alistair Bruce-Ball and football
free
journalist Henry
as
Winter
the
in Porto,
wind.
bringing you the commentary. We've got our football correspondent John Murray and Mark Lawrenson
All right.
alongside him at 5 Live Sport. 85058
So now we gotta go to
to join
Frankfurt.
in the discussion. Is there an excitement, John, around Porto with Jose Mourinho coming back?
So let's go and do that, and then we'll end the video. I think we can make it there in 7 minutes.
Mourinho yesterday, I know we spoke about it on the programme last night, but when he came into the press conference room last night, there were lots of little nods and winks and words of welcome from the media people, and that was responded to by Mourinho, who very much took time there. I think it was a longer than usual press conference because
We just have to remember that this truck does not have a lot of space on the back, or not a lot of weight on the back, so I can flip it over if I'm being an idiot.
Portugal's greatest exports, certainly of the current times. So they're very.
Look how fast I stop. It's crazy. I'm
Henry
scared.
Winter alongside me, and yet in that press conference yesterday, for all it might have been nice and people welcoming him back and nods and winks, as John Murray said, he seemed to change tack in that press conference last night.
I was just talking about
and actually
sports
have a
on
go
this
at
5
his
Live.
own
That's boring.
players, which is something that he hasn't done.
I think in terms of exports for Portugal,
I guess maybe some people like
the
sports.
local port can certainly
Please raise your hand
challenge Mourinho
if you
in
like
terms of
sports
the most famous
right now.
exports, certainly historically. I think it's
Haha, I just made you
very
raise
sort
your
of
hand.
romantic image, him going back there. He talked
I don't
about
actually believe anyone
the
did that.
statue in the museum and how much he enjoyed it there, but he'll be looking at
Audience
his own
interaction,
players.
yeah.
It's all about whether the more experienced ones will react. I mean, he didn't name the players.
Send me a reaction video to this
Certainly
video,
Chelsea this season, he
please.
was referring to Oscar, Matic, Hazard.
We actually
arguably
have,
Willian,
every
as
once
the
in a while,
players
there's
that he
someone who
considers
goes
not
into
serial
someone else,
champions.
into
He actually
our
named the
comments,
serial champions as being
and
sort of Ivanovic,
asks
Mkhitaryan,
for us to
John
check
Obi
out their
Mikel.
channel
Slight surprise,
and
as Obi
sub.
Mikel
That's
hasn't really been a force in recent years.
that's not cool,
But in terms
bro.
of those, and he also then sort of rather modestly, in typical Mourinho fashion, described himself as I am a serial champion as well because I have
Like,
the attitude and the approach. And you know, it's
okay.
It's a message that could
Something
get
you
through
could
to
do.
many players in England. It's not just about doing it for one season; it's season after season.
But
now,
it's not
Hazard
something
may
you
be
should do
more of a marked
unsolicited.
man, maybe he's finding it
One
difficult
guy
to
at the
get
start
going,
of our
but
channel,
really a player of his substance, double football
he
of the
made a
year,
video
football of the
about
year. He really needs to start imposing
us,
his,
kind
his
of.
undoubted ability more. And that's
That
a
was a
very
cool
simple
way to do
message
it.
from
Just
Mourinho. He didn't
he
really
sent me a
need to
message and he's like, "Hey, would it be okay if I showed off your channel in my channel? Like, I found a cool channel video." And I was like, "Hell yeah, it's cool."
With Chelsea, can
And
you
I
understand him calling out the others though?
Yeah, a little bit. I did it.
He's getting towards the end
I
of
did
his
the same
tether.
to
He wants
him,
to
and
do next, to be quite
it was
honest with you,
a
Mark. But I
great
mean,
situation.
Ivanovic has been so poor.
That's
this
the
year.
way
John
you should do
Terry's
it.
been poor as well. It's all right
If you
being
want
a
that
serial
sort of thing.
champion. You've got to be a consistent
I did not follow
footballer.
him,
That's a great
because
problem
he
with
didn't
Chelsea
play
at
the sorts of things I want to watch.
players
I could have followed him on the
propelled
split screen
them to
channel.
winning the
That would have been fine.
Premiership last year, the Premier League.
Yeah, I might be
Have been
speeding.
Very, very poor.
They should give you a how
How
much you were speeding
he
by.
has got too many statues on the football pitch at the moment. And, you mentioned Costa as well. Costa's got to start playing football. He's got, if he wants to get involved with everybody else on the pitch, then that's all well and fine. But to the
This guy's getting out of the way.
not playing well, what's the point? So, and I've got a sneaky suspicion with Costa that I don't think all is well between him and Mourinho, and he's one who I think that will.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hang around
Getting follows is hard, or subs. We're doing okay.
That just
I think.
on what you've seen with your own eyes.
So like, I'm not. Our growth is all right. I'd like to see more.
Does Costa actually speak English?
But
the first few words that he spoke when he went
wouldn't
to
you
the
always
Chelsea
like to
dressing
see
room,
more? Like, no one's ever going to say, "Oh, I'd like to see you guys sub less." That'd be great. No one's ever going to say that. You're running out of fuel. I am.
English,
That's bad.
I think he's very popular there. You talk to people around the club. He's liked by the staff. He's certainly liked by the player, and he's obviously liked by Mourinho. But I agree with you. He's got to start imposing his talent on defenders rather than his temperament.
John Murray, when you were sat in that press conference yesterday and you were listening to him, and you've been there when he's talks about Arsene Wenger being a specialist in failure and trying to divert the attention away from talking about the Chelsea Arsenal games. You've been there when he's had to go
driving
at
like
referees.
a crazy
You've
person
been there
on the
when he's had to go at
road.
medical staff. You've been there when he's told journalists to actually Google the facts rather than coming up with spurious questions. Did it surprise you what you heard yesterday?
Google the facts. I think is like that's a good thing when someone's coming at you. Just Google it. Fucking Google it.
So it was a general comment, and I do feel
Please.
that he has reached the point where, in the little books that he has, I'm sure he's got all sorts of things to do when X happens. And even where we are now, the end of September, I think he's exhausted quite a few of those already this season. I've heard him speak after the defeat at Everton, heard him speak after the defeat to Manchester City.
I think a lot of our channel growth is because of like Kamidori and maybe stuff like this. Probably not what I do. I don't think Arcolad is going to bring in many views or many subs at all.
Steps up.
Mark, the other thing as well is, if you wanted a team last year in the Premier League to defend for your life, you'd have picked the Chelsea back five plus maybe Matic sat in front of them. They conceded 14 goals.
I don't know how channel growth works. I just sign on and there's more subs. I wake up in the morning feeling like the Fuhrer, and there's more subs.
Last year, towards the end of last season,
Lots of people actually end up watching the Monday video, which is a little weird.
Hardly anybody managed to score against them. And you know, once you've got such
I really got to
good
figure out how the color
defensive
grading
unit,
works.
What it does in matches, it
On,
buys you time for your
that.
more
It's
constructive
the same
players,
camera,
for
but
your clever
it's
players
I
with
put a
goal
different
scorers to go and win you
I
that
put
game.
the Super
And that's
Cine
just
style
what
in it.
happened for Chelsea, apart from maybe
So,
Arsenal at home, but obviously then there were different reasons because they ended up playing against 9 men.
Yeah, and also, you know, I think we should, in the midst of this, point out the fact that
maybe
they
it
are
just
4 matches unbeaten.
hates
And
my
okay,
skin
they were
tone, and
solid
I'm
in
gonna
that
just
time,
have to switch
and
back.
they found themselves in that position on Saturday, but they dug themselves out of that position. And I felt that the performance against Arsenal when we did the
Or
commentary
maybe I
on
just
the
need to
Saturday
like
lunchtime,
take the yellows
you know,
out
I thought there were definite
of the
signs there of Chelsea beginning to find a bit of form.
Are you saying beating Walsall and coming back to get a draw
out
at
of
Newcastle
the
is a positive?
video in general.
What I'm saying is,
try and
they
make me
are on
pink
an
again.
unbeaten run at the moment, and looking at the matches that Chelsea have
I mean, I
got
am
coming
kind
up,
of yellow.
I could see a scenario where Chelsea do step it up a gear and go on a lengthy winning run.
Mark, we saw Loftus-Cheek a little bit in the summer for the under-21s, but probably not as much as we'd have liked to see, because actually when he came on, he looked good. He didn't look phased by the occasion, nor should he be in an under-21.
Turns out we could not make it
Do
in
you
7
think,
minutes.
with your expert eye, that he's got the sort of the ability that could put pressure on a Matic?
But
I
we'll
think
keep going.
absolutely, Henry, and that's
We'll
the
get
other
there.
point as well, is that there is nothing worse in a dressing room after you win the league.
Frankfurt.
When,
We're almost
when
there.
you walk back as, you know, a superstar, whatever, and you look around the dressing room, and you
I don't
look
know
at
why I
the player,
signal
you think,
sometimes, but not other
"And you come
times.
to take my
It's when there's
position."
other people
And
around,
I
you know.
think, and I think with all these top teams, that's how it works. You know, you just keep strengthening, but you keep threatening as many players as you possibly can if you're the manager, with somebody else taking over from their position, and that's basically what drives you on. And the other thing as well is, look at last summer for Chelsea. I think, quite honestly, they won the league. They made money with the signings and the
Whoop.
sales.
Ah,
They're a better team. And what have they done this pre-season?
By the way, it's
Not
wet.
very much for
Difficult
me,
to break.
and they don't look as good a team now as they were last year. So I think that's that
That was my own
competition for your place week in, week out, chappers.
We can
At
handle
this
4%.
level, which makes all the difference. It might only be 5 or 10%, but to teams like Chelsea, really good teams, it makes them outstanding teams.
But I mean, we've got a great man, Mark, sitting here with us in Mark, because when we talk about serial winners of the league championship, I mean, Mark, you were playing in Liverpool teams that you know.
It's too early in the morning.
Just because I just made the point
For a second, yeah.
Myself and Hansen were in our armchairs basically playing at centre back. We turned at one pre-season and Gary Gillespie was dumped in front of us, and like, look,
Who was phone?
Who's the one who's going to be missing out here? And that's the point I'm trying to make, Mark.
I was trying to get my attention, but I'm busy trying to get to this place to buy it with all my fat loot.
Just at the moment think that they're going to play every single week.
And then we'll leave you here
because
once we
they
get
have
our
sent
fat
so
loot
many-
out of our
people
bank account.
can debate the benefits and the negatives of the loan system. I don't want to do that tonight. But they have sent so many out on loan. So if Victor Moses wasn't at West Ham, but was
Use
still
our
at
parking
Stamford
brake
Bridge,
so we don't
would he
bleed
be
our
putting pressure on Eden
air
Hazard
system.
if he's out? I mean,
Because that's really lame to
why not?
stall.
No, I don't
Because
think-
our
I
air
don't
system's
think-
empty.
No disrespect to Victor Moses, I don't think you win the league with Victor Moses in your team. There are all sorts of different levels. Mark.
go.
But does a
He's at high level.
presence of Victor Moses put pressure on Eden Hazard?
A little bit, but listen.
I was saying that's really embarrassing, right? So I better do it.
If he got in the team for 2 or 3 games, Hazard was injured or whatever, wasn't particularly playing well, Hazard would get back in. So I just don't think they've strengthened enough for
Let's
a
do it.
team like Chelsea.
How much is this?
It's
180?
perpetual.
We can do that.
You've
Boom.
got to
Yes,
have- you have
do
to
you
have
really
that
want to?
threat.
Yes,
As
I want to
said to you
expand my
before,
business, son.
about, you know, somebody's going to get in the
Boom,
side
we expanded
in
our
your
business.
place, and you know they're a very good player, and you know with a good run of form.
Check out our garage. Can
you
we
might not
upgrade
get
it?
them
I don't
out
think
for
we can
a
upgrade it with how
long
much money
time,
we have.
and that's the point I'm trying to make with Chelsea. I just really don't.
Oh, for 100
feel
grand?
they
Yeah,
have
sure.
that at this moment in
There we go.
time.
I was surprised that they haven't.
We don't have anything to put in it right now, but we got a 0 out of 5. That's what we're going to be working on for the next few weeks of the 5 Live Drive. I thank you very much for hanging out and listening to the sports guys as I attempt to talk over them.
Said he would do
and I
towards
stretch.
the end of the season. Okay, sort of 1 or 2 of them gone on, but he
So,
doesn't seem totally committed to youth. We've seen that
check out other stuff.
throughout his career. Previous
Warcraft
clubs
3 will be up.
seen that, you know,
Episode
have
3?
one or two good
Yeah.
prospects.
Warcraft
Okay,
3,
maybe
Episode 3
Bern at Real Madrid, but
will be
not
up.
many of them have
Where
actually
we're
been given
gonna
the
play
chance.
some more custom
And
games. I think we're
just
playing
because they're
Wintermall right now.
the wealthiest men in the
Check
world,
that out
own
if you don't want to check that out.
in the kitchen, you know,
Follow the channel anyway, and you can get the 5 Live Drive every Wednesday, almost. Except when I figure out what else I want to put in the Wednesday. Once I figure that out, then it won't be every Wednesday. But currently, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. PST, come hang out, listen to me talk, say stuff in the comments, put it on another monitor, whatever you want to do. Just please watch our stuff. This is Civvie, signing out.